Have you ever wondered why your name seems to carry something so profound, as if it contains a part of your soul that no one else can reach? There's something mysterious about names. They are the first sound we recognize as our own, the first melody that calls us into existence. In Buddhism, it is believed that every sound is sacred. Every word, every syllable, even those that seem ordinary, has its own energy. And your name is not just a form of identification. It is a living vibration, a reflection of your truest essence. Consider for a moment the first letter of your name. Notice how it sounds, how it moves when you pronounce it, how it resonates in your chest. This simple sound can carry wisdom you may never have realized. According to Buddhist teachings, the first sound that forms your name is like a seed, a silent mantra that sets the tone for your journey in this life. It whispers your karmic lessons, your strengths, and even the challenges you came to learn to understand. So, before we continue, I invite you to take a deep breath and feel your name within yourself, not as a word, but as a vibration. Say it mentally, slowly. Feel how it echoes within your heart. This sound has accompanied you since the moment you were born, calling you in times of joy, pain, and change. Perhaps the time has come to understand what it's trying to tell you. If this message resonates with your innermost being, please like this video and subscribe to this channel. Not as a mechanical gesture, but as a symbol of gratitude for the path of consciousness we are walking together. Now, allow yourself to move forward and discover what Buddhist wisdom reveals about the hidden energy behind the first letter of your name. Chapter 2. The spiritual meaning of the name in Buddhism. In Buddhism, it is believed that nothing exists by chance, not even the name we bear. Every sound, every word, and even every intention spoken has an invisible power that manifests itself in the flow of life. The universe is made of vibrations, and sound is one of the purest expressions of this energy. When you pronounce your name, you are not only identifying yourself, you are, without realizing it, emitting a vibration that connects with the universe, a unique frequency that represents you in body, mind, and spirit. Buddhist masters teach that sound has the ability to shape reality. Therefore, mantras and sacred chants have been used for millennia as tools of purification and enlightenment. Each recited syllable awakens a specific energy, capable of transforming emotions and subtle realities. And it is in this same logic that the name becomes a personal mantra, a sound repeated countless times throughout life, charged with intentions, memories, emotions, and learning. When someone calls you by name, the universe recognizes you. It is as if a specific musical note echoes within a grand cosmic concert, and the first letter of your name is the starting point of this melody, the initial tone that defines the harmony of your entire journey. Just as dawn defines the light of day, the first letter shapes the vibration of your spiritual path. In Buddhist temples, special care is taken with names. When a monk or nun decides to renounce ordinary life and follow the path of Dharma, they receive a new spiritual name. This name is not chosen randomly. It reflects the energy and purpose of that soul at that stage of the journey. The first syllable is often carefully considered, as it determines the direction the practitioner will take in their awakening process. Symbolically, we all also receive a spiritual name at birth. Even if it was chosen by our parents or family, there is, on subtle levels, a connection between the sound of the name and the energy of the spirit that reaches Earth. The initial sound, that first letter, is like the seed of karma beginning to blossom. It carries the soul's intention, the learning that needs to be experienced, and the vibration that will accompany you throughout your life. Imagine for a moment the moment your name was spoken for the first time. Perhaps it was your mother, your father, a grandparent, someone you love. This sound, when pronounced, registered in the energetic field that surrounds you. Since then, it vibrates every time someone calls you. You write it or hear it. It's an invisible thread that connects you to your origin, a constant reminder of who you are and what you came here to learn. When we look at your name from this perspective, it ceases to be just a set of letters. It becomes a mirror of your being. The sound vibration expresses parts of your character, your inclinations, and even the karmic lessons that accompany your soul. Buddhism teaches us that by observing these subtleties, we can better understand the patterns of life and act more consciously toward them. Thus, knowing the spiritual meaning of your name is an act of self-compassion. It's opening yourself to understand what the universe meant to tell you when it whispered that sound for the first time. It's not a search for ego, but a return to essence. It's recognizing that even in small things, like the first letter of your name, there is a silent wisdom that invites you to awareness. Your name is a constant prayer, spoken countless times throughout life, and the more awareness we place in it, the more we transform it into a tool for spiritual alignment. Each time you hear your name and embrace it with love, you are reaffirming your place in the world. You are saying to the universe, I am here, awake, learning to be. So, when someone calls you, listen beyond the words. Notice the energy that comes with the sound. Perhaps within it lies an ancient reminder, a message the universe has been repeating since the beginning of your journey, that you are not just a body with a name, but an expanding consciousness, shaped by the energy of every sound life offers you. Chapter 3. The Hidden Energy of Letters. In ancient times, spiritual masters have taught that everything in existence vibrates. Nothing is static in the universe, not even silence. With each breath, there is an invisible movement, a dance of energy between the visible and the subtle. Letters, which for many are merely written symbols, are in fact small expressions of this universal vibration. Each one possesses a sound, a rhythm, and an essence. And according to Buddhism, sound is a bridge between matter and spirit. In the oldest traditions, monks meditated on the sounds of sacred syllables, such as Om, Ah, and Hum. Each represents a primordial force in the cosmos. Om symbolizes creation, the beginning of everything. Ah brings the energy of communication, the purity of words. Hum expresses wisdom and integration. These syllables aren't just recited, they're felt. And this is the key to understanding the power of your name. The sound of the first letter of your name carries a part of this ancient wisdom. It is the first chord of your inner melody, the note that sets the tone of your life. When you say your name, this letter awakens a subtle, unique vibration that echoes through your body, your energy field, and the space around you. It is your personal mantra, the sound that opens the way to your spiritual identity. Some letters have an expansive vibration. A, for example, is associated with beginnings, awakening, and the courage to take the first step. It's an energy that opens paths and invites action. M, on the other hand, carries the gentleness of introspection, the wisdom that comes from silence and empathy. S, in turn, brings movement, transformation, and searching. A fluid energy that inspires change and self-discovery. But there's no need to memorize meanings or turn letters into superstition. The true lesson lies in feeling the energy behind the sound. Close your eyes and mentally say the first letter of your name. Feel how it vibrates in your chest, in your throat, in your mind. Does it sound firm or delicate? Is it open or closed? Every detail holds a message about how you manifest in the world. When this vibration is in harmony with your essence, life flows more naturally. You notice that decisions become clearer, relationships become smoother, and even challenges seem to have a greater purpose. But when you live disconnected from this frequency, trying to be someone you're not, muffling your own voice or ignoring your inner signals, the sound of your name loses its luster. It's like an out-of-tune instrument. It still produces music, but without a soul. Buddhist practice teaches us that reconnecting with one's own sound is a form of meditation. It's not just listening with your ears, but with your heart. It's realizing that within each word there is an entire universe waiting to be understood. When you say your name with presence and love, you transform it into a prayer. It ceases to be an ordinary word and becomes a reminder of your sacred existence. Letters are like seeds. Each one carries the potential for growth. The first letter of your name is the seed that germinates your journey. It doesn't determine who you are, but it indicates the type of soil where your soul flourishes. Some seeds need light, others shade, some warmth, and others patience. Likewise, each person carries their own vibration, their own pace of evolution. And it's beautiful to realize that the universe speaks to us through these small things. A letter may seem simple, but within it lies an echo of ancient wisdom. When you recognize this energy, you begin to walk more lightly, because you understand that you are not separate from the greater harmony. You are part of it. So, when you think about the first letter of your name, don't see it as a coincidence. See it as a living symbol. It is the first breath of your presence in this world, the sound that announces who you are and what you came to learn. And the more you connect with this vibration, the more you realize that the name you bear is in fact an invitation, a silent reminder that wisdom resides within sound, and sound resides within you. Chapter 4. Concrete examples and applications in daily life. In life, we often feel that certain patterns repeat themselves. The same types of people cross our path. The same lessons seem to return. The same situations invite us to patience, courage, or forgiveness. For Buddhist teachings, this is no coincidence. It is a reflection of the vibrations we emit, often without realizing it. And the name, with the energy of its first letter, is one of these silent vibrations that shapes the flow of experiences. Think of someone you know, perhaps a family member or a close friend. There are people whose presence is naturally serene. They speak calmly, convey peace, and even in the most difficult moments, maintain a calm wisdom. Interestingly, their names often begin with soft sounds, letters that are pronounced softly like M, L, or N. These are people who vibrate at the frequency of empathy, listening, and patience. But they often need to learn to set limits, to say no without guilt, to recognize their own worth. On the other hand, there are those who seem born with the fire of action. They are decisive, assertive, always on the move. Names beginning with strong letters like C, D, T, or P carry this vibrant energy. They are people who are unafraid to begin, who inspire and lead. But along the way, their challenge is another. Learning to be silent, to respect the timing of things, and to listen more to what their heart tells them, and less to what the world demands. These examples show that the vibration of the first letter doesn't define who we are, but reveals the energy we most easily manifest, and at the same time the lesson we most need to balance. It's like a song. Some notes stand out, but harmony depends on all of them being in tune. Now imagine your own life. There are situations that seem to repeat themselves, emotions that arise whenever certain people are around, or decisions that put you on very similar paths to those you've seen before. When you begin to observe your name and its vibration, you begin to understand that all of this may be inviting you to find balance. If your handwriting brings strength, perhaps life is teaching gentleness. If it brings calm, perhaps it is teaching expression. This observation brings a profound transformation, because when we begin to understand our energy, we stop resisting it. Instead of trying to change who we are, we learn to live in harmony with our essence. Awareness replaces struggle, and at that point, the name becomes a mirror of the soul, not a limit, but a reminder. Think, for example, about how many times you've heard someone say your name differently. Some say it with love and others say it with irritation. Even without realizing it, your body responds in different ways. This happens because the sound of your name touches your energy field. When we hear it tenderly, something within us expands. When we hear it harshly, something retracts. That's why, in Buddhism, the practice of mindfulness also applies to the words we use. And here, sound is a form of energy. It enters us, shapes feelings, and awakens memories. Your name, repeated so many times throughout your life, is a current of energy that has accompanied you since birth. And each time someone calls it, this sound rekindles the memory of your own presence in the world. When you begin to consciously connect with this energy, something changes. You begin to pronounce your own name with love, without judgment. You begin to respect the story it carries. And little by little, you realize that this vibration, which previously seemed external, just a sound, is actually a living part of your spiritual journey. Everything in the universe is sound, movement, and vibration. Just as a river adjusts to its rocks to keep flowing, you too can learn to flow with the melody of your name. By doing so, relationships become lighter, challenges more understandable, and repetitive cycles begin to dissolve. Because when you understand your own frequency, you stop resisting life and start dancing with it. And at that point, your name ceases to be just an identity. It becomes a reminder of who you truly are, a being in constant learning, seeking balance between sound and silence, between action and stillness, between the energy that moves you and the love that sustains you. Chapter 5. Hidden Effects and Karmic Lessons. Often, we spend years repeating the same paths, facing the same pain, without realizing that there is a subtle pattern guiding these experiences. In Buddhism, it is believed that nothing repeats itself by chance. Everything that returns in our lives carries a purpose, to awaken consciousness, and the energy contained in the name we receive, especially its first letter, can reveal part of this purpose, indicating the lessons our spirit came to learn in this existence. Each sound carries an energetic weight, and when we pronounce it over the years, we create an invisible trail of vibration around us. Our name, repeated thousands of times since birth, acts like a personal mantra. Even unintentionally, it shapes the energy field we attract and the experiences we live. This is why, in certain Buddhist traditions, the name is considered a form of sound karma, an energy that brings to the surface the tendencies and learnings of past lives. Imagine, for example, a person whose name begins with a strong, driving letter, like C or T. They are born with a vibration focused on action, leadership, and movement. However, if this energy is not understood or consciously channeled, it can transform into impatience, authoritarianism, or anxiety. Life, then, offers repeated lessons that invite them to balance action with serenity, determination with listening, strength with compassion. This is the karmic learning hidden behind the vibration of sound. Similarly, someone with a name beginning with a soft letter, like L, M, or N, may be born with a naturally peaceful, loving, and welcoming energy. These people radiate empathy and understanding, but on their journey, they may need to learn to set limits and express their inner power. When this lesson is not understood, the soft energy transforms into passivity or fear, and life, with its infinite wisdom, creates situations that challenge them to find their voice and recognize their worth. These repetitions are not punishments. They are mirrors. With each experience, the universe reflects what still needs healing. Thus, the sound of your name acts as a constant reminder. Each time someone calls you, life invites you to remember the path your soul has chosen to follow. When we resist the energy we carry, we come into conflict with ourselves. It's like swimming against the current of our own river. But when we understand and embrace this vibration, something changes. We begin to live in harmony with the flow of our inner nature. Suffering diminishes because we are no longer trying to be someone we are not. We are simply learning to consciously express what already exists within us. Buddhist monks often say that the name is the first lesson in acceptance. Accepting one's name is accepting one's own journey. It is recognizing that there is wisdom even in the sound that represents us. The name, when understood as a teaching, ceases to be a simple set of letters and becomes a spiritual reminder, an invitation to align who we are with what the universe wishes to express through us. The energy of your name can become a healing force when lived consciously. When you pronounce it with love and gratitude, it vibrates in harmony with the cosmos. When you reject it, trying to be someone different, it creates dissonance. And this dissonance manifests in repetitions, frustrations, and subtle blocks. Thus, the first step toward karmic liberation is to accept the sound of your own existence. Remember, karma is not a punishment, but an opportunity for growth. It manifests so we can transform repetition into wisdom. When you begin to hear your name as a teaching and not as a fixed identity, something awakens within you. A silent peace arises, a profound understanding that life does not happen against you, but for you. Your name is the echo of all you have been and the call of all you can yet become. It is the invisible thread that unites your past, present, and future experiences. When you live in harmony with this vibration, cycles cease to be a burden and become stepping stones. Every sound, every experience, every lesson becomes a step on the path to enlightenment. Thus, the true secret of the name lies not only in the letter that begins it, but in how you experience the energy it awakens. Because when there is acceptance, the sound becomes a prayer, the name becomes a blessing, and life, ultimately, becomes a path of liberation. Chapter 6: The Name and the Path. To enlightenment, as human beings awaken spiritually, they begin to realize that life is made up of layers. First, we see the material world, the body, the name, the relationships, the roles we play. Then, with time and practice, we begin to sense what lies beyond, the invisible field that unites all things. And it is at this point in the journey that the name ceases to be just a word and becomes understood as a bridge between the visible and the eternal. In Buddhism, the name is said to be a temporary manifestation of the self, something that belongs to the world of form, but not to the ultimate essence. It is like a flower that blooms for a time to reveal its beauty, but one day returns to the earth, returning everything to the cycle of impermanence. Thus, the name is not who we are. It is only who we are in this moment of consciousness. Throughout life, the name helps us navigate the world. It connects us to others, shapes our identity, and molds our experiences. But as spiritual awakening deepens, we begin to see that there is something behind the name, a silent presence, a space of pure awareness that has always been there, even before the first sound was uttered. This presence is what in Buddhism we call Buddha nature, the pure, unconditional, and luminous state that dwells within all beings. In monasteries, there is a sacred moment that represents this understanding. When a practitioner decides to embark on the monastic path, they receive a new spiritual name. This name does not replace the previous one. It symbolizes the rebirth of the mind. It represents the detachment from old identities and the surrender to the path of truth. The spiritual name is not chosen for aesthetics or chance. It arises from the observation of the qualities the disciple carries and those they still need to develop. It is a way of reminding themselves every day of who they are becoming. But you don't have to be a monk to experience this transformation. All of us, at some point, are invited to be spiritually reborn within the same name we bear. This rebirth happens when we look at our name no longer with vanity or custom, but with reverence, when we understand that it carries the memories of who we were and the invitation to become something greater. The name is the sound of our karma, and at the same time the instrument of our liberation. It is the starting point from which the I begins to dissolve. When we speak our name with full awareness, without attachment, without rejection, we realize that there is something immutable behind it. Something that does not depend on time, body, or history. Something that simply is. This realization is the beginning of the path to enlightenment. Recognizing that the name does not limit us, but reveals us. It is like the sound of a bell that awakens the sleeping mind. The moment the sound rings, you hear it, and when it ceases, silence remains. So it is with the name. It arises, vibrates, fulfills its function, and then dissolves. But what remains is silence, pure presence, essential being. When you begin to meditate on your name, something subtle happens. Gradually you realize that it's not the sound that carries the meaning, but the consciousness that observes it. The name becomes a tool for remembering what is eternal. It invites you to ask yourself, who am I before my name is spoken? This simple yet profound question opens the doors to self-knowledge. The Buddha taught that true liberation comes when we understand the impermanence of all forms. And the name is one of those forms. It is a companion on the journey, respectable, precious, but fleeting. When you understand this, attachment dissolves. You begin to wear the name lightly, like wearing a garment, knowing that it identifies you for a time but does not define who you truly are. The name then becomes a mantra. Each time someone pronounces it, you can choose to listen to it with awareness. You can remember that behind this sound is an awakened being, learning to recognize their own light. And each time the sound repeats, the universe offers you the chance to remember. You are more than letters, more than a story, more than an identity. You are the consciousness that hears the sound. You are the silent space between one word and another. You are what observes the birth and disappearance of everything, including your own name. When this understanding blossoms, the name doesn't lose its value. On the contrary, it becomes sacred. It comes to be seen as a gift from the universe, a living reminder of your mission in this life. And when one day the name falls silent, what remains is only what has always been there. The silent sound of the enlightened being, the pure presence that inhabits everything. Chapter 7. Final Reflection and Inner Silence. Now close your mind's eye for a moment. Imagine the sound of your name being spoken tenderly, as if the universe itself were calling you. Feel this vibration gently touch your chest, echo in your heart, spread like waves of light throughout your body. This sound, so simple and so familiar, has accompanied you since the beginning of your journey in this life. It was spoken with love, with joy, with concern, and sometimes with sadness. Each time someone said it, it left a vibrant mark on your soul. Your name is a living story. It holds laughter, tears, encounters, and goodbyes. And behind it all, it carries a silent reminder. You exist. You belong. You are part of this great dance of life. The first letter of your name, the one that opened the sound of your presence in the world, is like the first note of an ancient song that continues to play, even when the world seems silent. There is a profound wisdom in recognizing this, because when we look at our name with love, something transforms within us. We stop seeing the past as a burden and begin to see it as a teacher. We stop seeking outside what, in truth, has always been within. The name ceases to be just a way of being called and becomes a constant reminder that life is impermanent, but also sacred in every moment. Think about how many times you've changed since the first time you heard your name. How many versions of you have been born, and how many have said goodbye along the way. Yet the sound remains. It accompanies you like a bridge between what you were and what you are still becoming. This is the beauty of the name. It reminds us that we are movement, transformation, and continuity. In Buddhism, masters often say that true wisdom arises when we can hear the silence behind the sounds, when we are no longer attached to words, but attentive to the space between them. And it is in this silence that the meaning of your name reveals itself. Because your name is not your essence. It is the echo of your passage through earth, the record of your presence among beings. What you truly are goes beyond any sound. You are the consciousness that listens. You are the heart that feels. You are the breath that remains when the sound fades. Just as a candle continues to radiate light even when no one is watching, your essence continues to vibrate even when your name is forgotten. Therefore, in this moment, I invite you to simply breathe. Feel the air coming in and out, as if each breath were your true name. A wordless sound, yet full of meaning. Life calls to you like this, silently, at every moment. The universe recognizes you not by the letters, but by the light you emanate. Your name is the reflection of the path, but you are the path itself. The name is the sound of the wave, but you are the ocean. And when you understand this, everything quiets. Comparisons lose their power, guilt dissolves, and your heart rests, because finally you understand that you are part of the whole, and that the whole has always been within you. So, allow yourself to rest in this silence now. There is nothing to correct, nothing to prove, nothing to seek. Just feel. The sound of your name merges with the sound of life, and the two become one. And when someone speaks your name again, may they remind you of who you truly are. A being of light, consciousness, and compassion, walking serenely in the eternal flow of existence. If these words touched your heart, take a deep breath and feel gratitude for this moment. Nothing is by chance. If you have come this far, it is because life wanted to offer you a gentle reminder that there is wisdom even in the sound that calls you every day. Your name is a gift from the universe, a unique melody that has accompanied you from the very first moment and will continue to echo silently far beyond time. As you listen to this reflection, perhaps you felt something awaken within you, an old memory, a sense of peace, or perhaps simple relief. This is the spirit recognizing the truth. It's the heart remembering that it's not separate from the greater harmony. And that's why I invite you to stay on this path, a path of awareness, serenity, and love. Like this video if it brought clarity or comfort to your soul, not as a routine gesture, but as a way to say yes to the journey of self-discovery. By subscribing to this channel, you join thousands of people who, like you, are awakening to a lighter, more conscious life. Here, each video is a temple of silence and wisdom, created to nourish the soul and quiet the mind. And if you wish to continue this inner journey, there is another video waiting for you right now, an invitation to delve even deeper into Buddhist wisdom. In it, we explore how your date of birth can reveal karmic and spiritual lessons that explain much about the paths you walk today. It is a natural continuation of this learning process, a step forward in understanding who you truly are. Let the curiosity of your spirit guide you. Click and proceed to the next video, not in a rush, but with presence. And before you go, take this reminder with you. The sound of your name is an echo of the compassion of the universe. When someone calls you, it is life itself saying, "You are here. You are part of the whole." May your name continue to vibrate in peace. May your journey be guided by the light of consciousness. And may your every step be a silent expression of the love that inhabits all things. See you in the next video where time slows down and the heart learns to hear what the world rarely says. That true wisdom lies in recognizing the sacred that lives within you.